Alrighty, got my final match of the preliminary stages of the World Cup, facing Canada's B team. I'll be playing fireonice. What do we have here? What can activate Tomb? Nothing? That's not true. An opponent's Noble Brigand trashing your silvers or golds could give you Tomb points. And I think that's it. So Tomb does not seem exceptionally relevant. Draw here is also rather lackluster. Crypt can deal with treasures, but you don't necessarily need too many treasures. You want to draw goons and villas, and only experiments can do that. So a villa plus a goons is 3, unless you buy an experiment, which is +2 draw. So that's draw neutral and scores you points, is playing villas and goons and buying experiments. You've also got an extra plus buy out of that. So if you played with some treasures, which you drew with Crypt, you could net draw by buying a bunch of experiments. And I think that ends up being tricky a lot of the time because there's only 10 experiments in the pile to go around, so they're pretty limited. And so I think a viable scenario here is, what if you just monopolize the experiments, play 10 each turn, and then buy 5 pairs of experiments in the buy phase, and then only you have draw and your opponent doesn't. I feel like that's a thing that'll be an issue. But I expect the direction we're going is you want to play villas and goons and buy experiments. And if you manage to get all the experiments, maybe that deck comes together and actually works. But probably these decks just only ever kind of sort of work. I've got 5. This is kind of funny. It doesn't really matter for me because I got the 5-2 split. But messaging a fisherman on your first turn as player 1, it stops, like, imagine I had the 2-5. This would have stopped me from buying the fisherman on my turn because now I've got a card in my discard and it costs 5 down instead of 2. I think I'm buying Crypt here. I don't know. Crypt is not a good opening card. You usually want to get it, I don't know, probably around turn 4 to 7 or so, just as a random guess, because you want to deal with the states or something to that effect. But A, there's no state trashing here, so it's not going to get better, and B, the 5's are otherwise weak. So I think opening it here feels more justified than usual. I think I might buy Guardian here. I might want Guardians eventually because they block a Goon's discard attack, which kind of makes them essentially draw. And so this might be early for it, but I think it's worth picking up for free. I don't think Messenger seems all that great to me because that card's going to be in your deck for the rest of the game. There's no way to get rid of it. And Messenger seems just like worse goons, much worse goons. Taking up space. I got 4 here. It's either Fisherman or Experiment. This is also a phenomenal draw for them. Hitting 6 with a Messenger on turn 3. Getting to discard the rest of the deck and get immediately back to the goons. Definitely good for them. I'll take Fisherman, I guess. They got their first Crypt. I cannot buy Fisherman, so now the choice is easy. Oh, this is a painful hand for the goons to discard. Like, I got a lot of estates in my deck. 2 of my coppers is set aside. The chance that I would have none of the estates in hand to discard to goons is a little bit... I mean, it wasn't high, but it ended up happening anyway. This was something of a nothing turn. I played an experiment, bought 2 new experiments. I guess I've netted an experiment out of that. I want to get a goons in my deck. Now seems like a good time. And that crypt is no longer in play. So I think as soon as I get the crypt back into play, a second crypt will be in order. I also probably want a second guardian at some point to block these goons' attacks more reliably. Okay, we can do second crypt now. Set side 4. Guardian, no, you're supposed to help me. Experiments make sense. I feel like they're a little bit ahead. I don't like the messenger opening, but if you're gonna draw it like this, sure turns out well. And then that coupled with them being player 1. But this is a potentially long game, so time to come back. Definitely not buying provinces anytime soon. I still think essentially the win condition here is monopolize the experiments, and then you just score the goons for rebuying them, and there's nothing much they can do to get back in the game. They got their first Guardian. I should pick up a Guardian here. And I want a third crypt. So next turn, this crypt will have 1 left on it. And the crypt in my hand will have 3 left on it. And I will have 3 treasures in my deck. I'm kind of indifferent between crypt and second goons. Take the crypt. It's so tough because crypt and goons are just naturally of such a similar power level. It'd be hard to decide between them. So I got 3 money coming in, 4, 5 in hand. I guess I'm technically not guaranteed to hit 6 here because I could draw my estate and then my other crypt. But I think I want another goons and then I want to start buying experiments. I would expect him to buy Fisherman Guardian here. I don't see a whole lot else that seems comparable. Oh, they already had a Guardian in hand, I guess. I guess I missed that portion. Never mind. Doggy, what are you eating? Okay. 8's actually great. I can buy a Fisherman and a Goons. This might not be the best. This would be a fine crypt next turn, I think. Generally, the goal is going to be to set aside some number that is not equivalent to the number of coppers on the other crypts, so they don't come out of play at the same time. And that should be not hard to do here. I'm going to have 1 crypt at 2, 1 with 0 going into this turn, and I know I'll have at least 3 coppers in hand. So if I set aside 3 or more, I guarantee that my crypts are all nicely staggered. I'd like to find a goons. No such luck. I think I buy a third. I'm certainly behind here, and that's I think almost entirely just looking at these experiments. They have 6 of them. I have 0. That's a big problem. Bottom decking with my goons is no good, especially on a turn where they don't have Guardian in play. That's not excellent. Oh well. But yeah, I think this is just third goons, and then we start buying experiments. I could buy a villa. I'm gonna need a villa to play the goons anyway, but then I only have 5 left. If I had 9, I think I'd do villa goons. I could buy villa plus experiment and then delay that third goons because I'm not sure my deck is of a quality to support 3 goons at the moment anyway. That's better. Should I set aside 4? I think that's fine. This turn's also a little awkward because oh yeah, uh, this experiment pile is incredibly worrying. Um, I was gonna say I can't afford to buy 2 pairs of experiments because to play both games I need to buy a villa. But as it happens, there's only 1 pair of experiments in the pile for me to buy in the first place. So much for that. I don't want to buy another Guardian. I think I'm just gonna let myself get attacked this turn. 3 Guardian, like the Guardian is a junk card in your deck, and you don't want it to be there. And so I really want the absolute bare minimum of Guardians required, which is playing 2 total on alternating turns. I think I'd rather just get attacked once than what do you say? Uh, than have 3 Guardians in my deck. But now this is potentially going to snowball. I discarded that Guardian because of if they collide, there's no use in having 2 of them in the same hand. But maybe I don't draw the next one, and then I get attacked again, discard it again. This game I think is just generally looking pretty bad. Yeah, like I think they've figured out the right strategy, which is hog the experiments, and if they don't mess up on that, it's going to be hard to come back. Just three sets of experiments. Yeah. I'll play this out a little bit longer, but if they don't mess up, I don't think this is winnable. How to buy these? I could consider buying Fisherman first. So the experiments cost 6. I could buy Fisherman, which would leave me with 5 left, or I could just buy 2 sets of experiments and a goons. I think I'd rather just buy 2 Fishermen. Until such time as I have more experiments in my deck, I don't think I can really reliably play 3 pairs of goons all that well. Shoot, I was actually going to say the one thing I going for me is I have 2 goons, so I have a points lead, but somehow I actually don't have a points lead, despite having twice the goons in my deck. They've just bought that many more things, I guess. Hmm. The goal for them presumably is they want to get up to 12 or however much is necessary. Basically, they need to keep the experiment pile empty while adding goons, and I think that they're likely to do that. And if they do that, there's not really a route back into this game. With 9, I think you would just buy Fisherman and 2 experiments here. Oh, they have 11. Not that that really makes much difference. I don't particularly see anything worth buying with that extra 3. Well, So I think I have 4 or maybe only 3 total experiments. I'm not sure, but it's not a big number. It's not good. How do I possibly win this? Don't even know. I could take a third goons. There's really not a whole lot else of value, is there? I mean, like, you could buy enclaves and score a little bit off the duchies, and the golds aren't the most cumbersome thing ever because you can set them aside with crypt. It's not. That's no good. Enclave doesn't score any goons points. There's no point doing that. Take goons, and I think I'll buy the guardian. Maybe a copper. I kind of want the points. I think my best chance here is to somehow in the game real fast with the points lead. I guess I should buy the guardian. Maybe the pile I try to go for here is emptying the guardians real quick somehow. That's not going to be easy because you also have to rebuy the experiments to pile out the experiment pile. I don't think it's possible from the dud in a sense that would really help me because like if they don't find the draw cards in the first place, that means they're not sending any experiments back to the pile for me to then nab them. But if they play the experiments, well then chances are they're finding their goons or their villa. They need to buy them back. I think you'd have to have a incredibly unlikely shuffle of their deck for them to somehow put experiments in the pile and not have the cards in hand to get them back out. So maybe I do have 4 experiments. Also surprised they did not rebuy experiments. Is it now 5-5? That could have been a big mistake there. I don't know why they let me have these. Gotta rebuy Guardian. Yeah. Actually, this Guardian pile is awfully low, isn't it? So let's say I bought Guardian Harem. That would score me 4 points. So I'd be at 34. If they played 2 goons and bought 3 Guardians, that would score them 6 points, which would also put them at 34. But they're player 1. But no, but if they played 2 goons and they definitely also played a Villa in that scenario, in which case they could buy a copper to win 35-34. This is dicey. So if I buy Guardian Harem, I think I lose if they get 2 goons in play, which doesn't seem exceptionally unlikely. I could buy Duchy Guardian. That protects against them hitting 6 with 3 buys or with 4 buys. But they're they're gonna hit 6 or more. Like if they hit 8, they would just buy 3 Guardians in a state. But if they hit 8, they could just buy 4 Guardians anyway, and I'm toast either way. Right, so I think Guardian Duchy helps me in a scenario where they don't hit 8. They do hit 8, I don't think anything helps me because buying 4 Guardians is just going to be a win for them. I mean, Duchy is just so much worse for your deck than Harem is when you have Crypt to deal with treasures, but nothing to do with victory cards. But I think that 1 point makes a difference in the scenario where they hit Goons, Villa, but not 8 money. I think they're just going to win. Oh, what? I did the thing. I forgot about the experiment pile. I was literally talking about this a few minutes ago, which is that it's actually not that trivial to pile because you have to rebuy the experiments, and I didn't even think about that. Shoot, yeah, that Dutchy buy was bad then. I was I was thinking, oh, there's just gonna be three Guardians left. That's a trivial pile that I need to worry about. It's not trivial because to get that stuff in hand, they have to play the experiments, and that pile unempties itself. Yeah, I think Guardian Goons or Guardian Harem, then it's probably the better play. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, that was so wrong. That was a big mistake on my part. Because now, if the game doesn't end, I've got a Dutchy in my deck for the rest of the game. Hmm. Mistakes have been made. It's all right. This is a warm up game. It's early in the morning. Just I'm stretching. Games 2 through 6 uh, is when the real action happens. Yeah. Now I should be careful before playing any experiments because there could be a scenario where I just pile three guardians and win. Actually, that might be pretty likely, isn't it? If I play no experiments, I've already got three buys in hand. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 money. Can I see how many trips I got? Here we go. Yeah, so yeah, I guess this actually just wins, doesn't it? I managed to hit enough buys without lowering experiments. They're buying some coppers. That might actually be enough to protect them, isn't it? Yeah, that was probably a good play on their part to take this extra coppers. Now I've got to scrutinize the points. Piling might not be enough. I don't have a points lead at the end of it. But with two goons in play, this probably is a win anyway. I'm not going to count it. I'm just going to click it. Uno, dos, tres. And a harem for the win. Oh, there's a little bit of lag at the moment. GG. I think I should have been dead in the water there. I don't know what happened in the end game. Anyways, on to game 2. I see Ironworks Gardens. That's a thing. The only draw here is, I mean, masterminding a cantrip is just like a really convoluted caravan. You're like mastermind on Farming Village, for example. You're spending 2 action cards, getting 3 draw. That's not very good, but it's technically draw. And then there's Avanto. I could see Sauna Avanto being a thing here. Like with Ironworks, it's not insurmountable at all to muscle through the sauna pile yourself and then get to the Avantos. But I think that doesn't. This is tough because like if one player builds an engine without sauna Avanto, that's not a thing here because you need the sauna to trash. And I was gonna say sauna Avanto seems undesirable because if you empty the saunas, they'll just buy Avantos and farming villages and play without them. But that's not true here because you would have no trashing it for that deck. I think to me the question is, does that stuff outpace Ironworks Gardens? Man, it's been a long time since I've played a Garden Ironworks thing, so I don't even know how fast that is. Hmm. There's Wolfden. Is that significant? Not really. Mountain Pass? Mountain Pass probably favors the engine slightly. Does it? I'm actually not even sure. They buy a province, maybe the Ironworks player just goes into tons of debt, and then ends the game using Ironworks. Hmm. This is not clear to me whatsoever as to whether going for the. I mean, I think the opening. Actually, the opening might not be the same either way. Maybe if you. No, on 3-4 it is. On 3-4 it's just gonna be silver Ironworks. On 4-3, I think you might have to seriously consider Ironworks Silver versus Ironworks Overlord. All right. Well, I've delayed the inevitable. Now I've got to actually decide if I want to build or not. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play the engine. Uh, I think it's honestly, well, I mean, this draw sucks, but I think it's not so bad. You take the saunas and the aventos, and you'll get thin pretty fast from the saunas, and then I think that deck can ramp up pretty quickly from there using Ironworks to gain additional payload and such. It looks like they're doing the same thing. I mean, you wouldn't buy a sauna if you were playing Ironworks Gardens Rush. I think it's worth it to me here to take the last two saunas if I can. Like if they take one, I'll take the other two. Or never mind. Well, screw you. All right, I've lost the sauna split, but I got an. Oh, I was just about to say. Well, I got an Overlord down there, and uncovering Aventos gives me first crack at him because I can play my Overlord as an Avento, but I can't because the Overlord bottom decked, and that also means that I hit 5, so I don't need to buy an Overlord this turn. Oh, that's not good at all. It's quite bad, in fact. There's my Overlord Silver and Sauna. All right. So for sure, Avento here. I presume just farming village. I don't like their Overlord by last turn. I don't think you want to go into debt after the Sauna pile, not the Sauna, the Avento pile is uncovered, because it means you're liable to lose the split pretty badly. Like they could hit 5 here and fail to buy Avento. As a result. All right. Well, this is has the potential to be a good turn, but it's likely to be not a good turn. They only got 2 saunas down there. We're gonna hope. Let me find one. No such luck. But I already won the Avento sauna split. At least 3-2. Well, I've won the Avento split. They got majority of the saunas. But I think in this kingdom, a majority of Aventos is a lot more significant. You can add extra villages very easily here, but adding extra draw is not so simple. This is probably actually no. I was gonna say this is just Nomad Camp, but Nomad Camp actually does not get me to 10, just 9. I think I just draw one, potentially trash more stuff. Oh, this is so close. This actually might get me to 10 if I Ironworks Nomad Camp, draw it. Yeah, there we go. Did they just lose the Avento split 5-0? Pretty sure they just lost 5-0. I think that's game over. That's got to be game over. Where's your draw? Your Overlord can't play Avento anymore because the pile's empty. I don't know. I think maybe they have to pivot to the Gardens Rush or something. But I'm pretty sure my deck can actually empty Gardens better than theirs can. Yeah, I think the buying Overlords during the Avento period was not a good idea. draw. I think start taking ironworks now. And I'll take a relic, I guess. Relic Mastermind. Maybe Mastermind's better. I'm not sure how many more turns this game's going to last. I think it's going to end on Gardens pretty soon. I think I'll take a Mastermind. I think I'm getting at least 2 more turns. I think. That might not be true. No, maybe, I don't... I wasn't thinking about Wolfston. I don't think I want 2 more Masterminds. Or I don't even want 2 Masterminds, because I don't think there's that much time left in the game to make use of a second one. But now that I've got the first one, I have to buy a second one. Or trash the first one somehow. Neither of those is very easy to do. Oh, wow. I managed to gain a lot of gardens there, actually. Yeah, this Mastermind is looking pretty silly. I thought I was getting 2 more turns, but now the piles are really low. So I'm at -9, which means I must have 3 unique cards. One's Mastermind, one is Overlord, one's Nomad Camp. Sounds right. So I'll probably have between 20 and 30 cards in my deck at the end of this turn, which will make gardens worth 2 apiece. So a win here would look like I can't trash Overlord, but I could buy a second copy of Overlord. So I probably would. So I'd get the 3 points there. I can just trash this Mastermind again. This thing is doing nothing for me. And then I could Ironworks gain a Nomad Camp. That gets me up to 0. I take 3 Gardens, gets me up to 6, I think, most likely. I got 12, 17, 18. Yeah, 18 cards. I'll be over 20, but I don't think I'm getting to 30. Maybe I get to 30, actually, if I empty Gardens, Ironworks, that's 6. I buy a Nomad or gain a Nomad Camp, that's 7. Maybe buy some coppers in there somehow. Even getting to 30 cards only scores me 3 points. I don't know. I'm going to start by taking the Gardens. We'll see where it goes from there. I think I don't want to chain yet. I think I want to empty these Ironworks. Okay. So I need a second Nomad Camp. That's for sure. And then maybe I gain an estate. I gain an action card. I play 2 Nomad Camps. Then I would have 4, 8 money. I buy a second estate. And what? That's a Nomad Camp down there, right? So I play Nomad Camp. I have 6 money right here. I get to 30. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, getting to 30 is actually not so hard. So maybe I'm just taking 2 estates and then bumping up the gardens. And that should be enough points. I didn't actually count this out, but I'm hoping. Don't trash. So I buy one more estate. Don't think it matters what this buy is. Duchy's worth 0. Most of the I should buy something that I already have a copy of, but I think like Farming Village and Duchy and stuff are all equivalent. And then the last buy is Overlord. And so now I think the significant question is am I bumping up gardens here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 18, 20, 24. The cards in hand. Since I've shuffled my deck. Gain Nomad Camp from. I got a Farming Village down there. I actually, maybe I'm losing. Maybe I am losing. Maybe I just botched a win. I just kind of assumed that this would work out, but I didn't factor in trashing the mastermind, or even really count very closely in the first place, did I? 2, 4, 6, 7, 10, 13, 16, 18, 20, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, you know what? I think I might have just lost this game. I'm pretty sure there was a win there. I'm at least close enough that I think if I played this better, I would have a win. But I didn't. It's like buying Overlord scores me 3. But it's only 8. And I don't think I'm bumping up gardens here. What if I buy Noble Brigand? That's -3 for me. But if it hits a silver, that's -3 for them. And then maybe it gets me to. It's only 29 cards, though, isn't it? Yep. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty darn sure I've just run this game. Oh well. GG. That was so silly. I had 5 Aventos. I don't know what I did. That last turn was just bad. All right, what do we have here? This looks not weak, but a little bit awkward. There's Highway, but there's no real plus buy to make Highway very good here. You got Draw in Villages, but the village is Conclave, which is not a very good village. Trashing is really good. You got Butcher, Sentry, and Mint, and Goatherd. So I think you're gonna end up with a deck that is like not a very big engine because you're pretty limited on what your conclave can realistically do. And then Butcher is the main payload, and not sure how early you green. Butcher pushes to green a little bit earlier, as does Conclave, I think. There's also Emporium, which is a few extra bonus victory points, as well as Wild Hunt. Opening isn't super clear. Could be Conclave Silver, Double Goatherd, Conclave Goatherd. The Goatherds make it weird. Like if you get a big mint trash off or trash a bunch of Sentry, that also makes their Goatherds draw a bunch. But I also know for sure they're not going to have a Sentry in this first shuffle. I think I'm going to open Conclave Silver, and take an early Butcher, and then a Goatherd. And my hope is, I think I'm going to trash a little bit less early on, but then my hope is they're going to take Sentry or Mint or something, and then I can make use of that to draw with Goatherd. Band of Misfits might come up here. It has the flexibility of being maybe a Goatherd on turns where they do trash. It can be a Conclave itself, and it's an extra target for Conclave to play. So I trashed Estate or Copper. Estate's better for Butcher, but worse for everything else. I think I'd rather buy a Goatherd. This shuffle has not exactly worked out at all. Butcher bottom decked. My Goatherd did not line up with their Sentry. It's only trashed one. Oh, they've trashed two now. I wonder if there's any sense in getting idols at some point. So the curses are trivial to deal with, but if you've got Goatherds in your deck anyway, giving your opponent curses just so they trash them is actually not useless because it potentially is. It's like drawing you cards because it's making your Goatherds draw more. Well, I found my Goatherd, but they chose not to trash anything this turn. That is unfortunate. I think I'd rather have two coffers than a patrician. The other option there was playing the butcher to trash the copper into a patrician and buying a second one. These draws are making me extremely sad. They've trashed two cards again, and I bottom decked both the second Goatherd and the Bandit Camp that would have otherwise been laboratories. I am so sad. I'm quite surprised they do not have a butcher yet. I don't know why they wouldn't. Surely they'll get one this turn. Okay, here we go. I think this might have been a bad play by them. I think they could have known that I've got two Goatherds sitting on top. So they're going to get to draw this turn. I got five. What's this? Probably Wild Hunt? Is that true? I'm not sure if I need that much draw. I might. I This looks like not so many stop cards, but I'm pretty sure these next five cards are mostly stop cards. I think Wild Hunt still sounds right. Next in the agenda, I think I would like to butcher an estate into a conclave. Gonna need a few more of those. Probably a second butcher at some point. then gain some Emporia for the victory points, then probably butcher most of them back into other things. I think you'd want to leave at least one around as a target for Conclave. As many unique cards in deck as possible is good. Or at least unique non-terminal cards. Supposing I want to play extra Wild Hunts. I could play Conclave Wild Hunt to draw one and still have an action. And then I could play Conclave on a cantrip, like Emporium, and then play another Wild Hunt and still have an action at the end of that. Or Conclave Highway Wild Hunt. But Conclave Mint isn't net increasing your action count. So you'd only want to do that if you were actively looking to play Mint. Mint's not ridiculous. I think there's draws where you'd get Mint, manage to line up the 5 copper hand early. Not that trashes are super important, but you could gain golds or idols and then butcher them into provinces. Or you could just butcher the Mint, actually, is probably the better option. Mint is expensive, makes it a good target. So I think there's still a pretty decent chance I have a turn here. They've trashed, what, 2 cards? That means this Goatherd will draw, and if it finds another Goatherd, that Goatherd will draw. Come on. Come on. Oh no. There's still a chance. Not get to the Wild Hunt. I know what the last card is. Anyways, Conclave and Emporium probably. And then I think second Butcher is looking pretty good pretty soon. And then maybe a second Wild Hunt. I'm actually really seriously thinking about Mint plus Idol. I'm gonna want junk for these butchers to trash. And giving them curses means my Goatherds draw. I could see butchering the Goatherds once they've run their course, but I think it's probably better to keep them around. Because I think with them having a butcher in their deck, they're going to trash at least one card every turn, making them cantrips at worst. And having Goatherds in your deck makes it at least risky for them to trash multiple cards, because it's giving you extra draw to work with. Did they trash one thing last turn? Is that right? Oh, no, they... Oh, wow, they trashed 3 things. That's a lot of things. So I guess we're going to try and gain and play some stuff here then. They took a lot of Emporia. I think Emporium matters, but I'm not worried. Like, losing the split doesn't worry. Fourth gift? Nope, no such luck. Okay, province here would not be absurd, but I think I'll just take the last Emporium. Now, I I think I want to mint. That may or may not happen this turn. I think higher priority is getting a second Wild Hunt, because they're gonna... I don't think they have any junk left, so they're gonna be trashing fewer things. And so I'm gonna need more of my own draw. Well, maybe. Playing 2 butchers actually probably disable draw. So maybe I turn Oh, they just put the second butcher for coffers. So yeah, draw here might be a little bit sparse this turn. Two of those patricians hit. That's not bad. So yeah, I could butcher, Orium into mint, conclave, play wild hunt, and then conclave, mint, play butcher. I think that all works out. Really not mind getting Forest's Gift, pretty please. Nope. And second wild hunt. This draw is horrible. Super duper horrible. All of a sudden, I no longer like my position. Not one bit. On the upside, I'm not going to trash anything this turn, which means at least their Goatherds will fail to draw next turn. That's something. They're even milling province. My Goatherds, they would draw so much. But they will draw, in fact, very little. I'm not sure if I play the Mint or the Wild Hunt. At this stage in the game, with a milling provinces, the victory points are not nothing. And yeah, I think I'm going to take the victory points so they don't take them their turn. Third conclave, I guess. I don't think it's lost or anything, but I think I'm now pretty behind after that. Forest's Gift is just so significant here. I would love to get it. You always end up with much more money than you can reasonably do anything with a single buy. And a second buy would be rather helpful. Okay, they continue to lower provinces. Which makes sense given they've got a points lead. Okay, so probably want to mint an idol, draw the idol and the butcher, figure out what we're doing. I don't think there's a possible win here, even if I got Forest's Gift. I have a, like that would be enough theoretical gains to do 4 provinces, but I think, let's see, butchering 2 idols into provinces would cost me 2 coffers, and then I'd have 9, 11, 13. Yeah, that I couldn't hit double provinces into that. So much for that. So I probably want some duchies then in that case. And I don't know, butcher, wild. I don't think I can play this many butchers if I take on a butcher. Maybe just another wild hunt. I mean, I could play Butcher. I played a Mint this turn, and I said I don't need to keep playing Mint. I could Butcher the Mint. So like a third Butcher isn't, I think, a big problem in terms of terminal space. But I might not be able to draw that much. Depends a lot on what they trash and whether my patricians hit. I think I'm going to take another Butcher. We'll play it a little bit risky. I think that there's at least a possible draw where this causes me to win the game. There's Forest Gift. Okay. I think I'm going to buy a province. I don't think they can. I mean, they can maybe do 3, but I think if they could do 3, I've lost either way. So, province. Not double province. That's too risky. And then Band of Misfits, I think. Which I think has the flexibility to be Conclave or Goatherd. And I could see playing either of those. This late in the game, even trashing curses isn't super clear. Just the fact that you give your opponent a bunch of draw in the next turn is a big drawback to trashing. Uh-oh, do they have a win? They got the other Butcher, and then yeah, probably. Well, that's unfortunate. GG. Okay, what have we here? This looks awkward. So you draw with Workers' Village and Library, but then there's not really good non-action based. There's not really good non-treasure based payload. King's Court or Marauder, and then draw up the ruins at the end of it all. What is going on here? Any victory cards you get, there's not really a good way to get them back out of your hand to make library draw. This just looks so weird. I'm thinking a bunch of King's Courts, Workers' Villages, Lurkers, and Libraries, and then a potion or two, and take some vineyards, and then just try to end the game very early with some King's Court Lurkers to pile out. Take a Lurker. On 4-3, I think you just buy Remake and then pursue Remake, but pursuing here would be very bad for me. And then I think double Remake also seems pretty good. This deck seems to benefit a whole lot from being thin, because any coppers and estates trip up library a bunch. They bought a Lurker, so I shouldn't trash anything of value. Put a Ruined Library in the trash. That lowers piles. I think second Remake now. They seem to think the same thing. Hitting 1 isn't great. I mean, some of the cards I want cost 2. And Remake normally gets you to 2. But when it collides with Lurker, it does not. Well, if you want to give me a free Lurker, I will accept your free Lurker. I think it's too early for Library. I'm already over terminaled. I think this is either Workers' Village or Counterfeit. Let's take Workers' Village. Ooh, they got King's Court already. I'm not even sure if King's Court's the first thing I want off of Lurker. I think Library actually sounds better to me at the moment. But King's Court will surely follow soon afterwards. Yeah, here we go. It'd be wonderful if this Workers' Village could draw the second Workers' Village. That would be great, because it would mean I could play the remake and trash 2 coppers before the library, and then my library would draw just like a million cards. Lurker's not so bad either, because I can also play this before playing the library. Let's skip that. I only need 1 remake, I think. I expect the easiest way to get potions here is going to be to remake the silvers into potions, because I don't particularly need these silvers very much in the long term. Score now. And the last 2 lurkers. I'm going to be faced with the decision of whether to skip the next library or put it in my hand, and I don't know what the correct answer is. Probably keep it. Yeah, there we go. But keep trashing ruins, I guess. Court. Let's just trash everything. Well, this next shuffle actually might not be very good. This might have been a mistake. Yeah, I should have pursued there. I knew I didn't have any workers' villages or libraries coming up. But pursuing would have required keeping a silver around. So maybe that means skipping the King's Court with the library and drawing on. This will be 2 more King's Courts. I'm actually not sure if I want to trash a ruin here, because kind of worried about them piling out on me. There might even be a draw where they could pile this turn. I don't know. Nope, not with that hand. Maybe I don't take another King's Court. That's lowering piles a lot. Because at the moment, Workers' Village, Library, and King's Court are all at 5. So lowering King's Court from 6 to 5 doesn't really increase the odds of them piling. Lowering it from 5 to 4 might. All the cards I want are at 5. I think the only things I potentially value adding to my deck are Village, Library, King's Court. I guess I'm okay lowering King's Court a teeny bit more. Put a Marauder in the trash, just for the sake of it. Please no dead hand. This is a very nice looking hand, so I think I'm good. I think if I get a turn here, I should win. Maybe not this turn, but I will at least take a bunch of actions, probably buy 2 vineyards, and then I think I'm safe losing the next turn, and we'll end up winning. And there is still some chance that on this turn they can pile out. I don't know how high it is, but it does not seem unrealistic that if they manage to King's Court some lurkers, then they empty King's Courts, and then with workers' villages they can buy a bunch of ruins, and they've got a 1-point lead. I think I actually King's Court the library. We'll play workers' village first, and then King's Court the library, probably. Hey, do I even play workers' village first? Maybe I King's Court library first, and then play workers' village. I don't know. Obviously, King's Court and library doesn't do anything on its own, but it draws me cards, and then I get to find additional King's Court targets. Maybe I just King's Court the Workers' Village first. I hope to draw some lurkers, then I use my other two King's Court plays on those. Yeah, probably so. Looks like they're going for the win. Here's hoping they don't have it. Library work. Set those aside. So I guess set aside things are set aside face down by default. I guess the log doesn't tell me what they chose to set aside with library. Well, indirectly it does, because they happen to only set aside one card and then they discarded it. So I know they set aside remake, but in a world where they set aside two or more, I think I would only end up learning one of those cards, whichever one ends up being on top of the discard pile. Oh, well, that's good news. If they're gaining King's Courts rather than trashing additional King's Courts, that means they must have concluded they don't have the pile out. Which is great news for me. And I think piling out for me should not be hard from this position. Just King's Courting one Workers' Village guarantees I can buy a bunch of ruins already. Then I King's Court a Lurker and trash some King's Courts, then I have to buy a vineyard at the end of that. Okay, maybe I have to buy 2 vineyards because I took province. Did not expect to be getting a bunch of provinces that turn, but, well, bonus points. GG. Is it 2-all? Wait, I think player one's won every game, haven't they? No, that's not true. I started my game as player one, but I won the first game as player two. Okay, what do we have here? Tomb. Lots of ways to score tomb points. Transmute scores tomb points. Hermit scores tomb points. Ducat scores 2 points. Draw. It's kind of lacking. Shantytown is draw, but Shantytown is the worst draw. There's also Madman, which isn't really reliable, but is a thing. I kind of want to put a Transmute here. You get 2 points, you get some duchies. I mean, opening is probably double Hermit, I guess. Maybe you pick up a Ducat and then a potion. I could open Potion Hermit. No, Hermit's too good. We'll open double Hermit, and we'll save a potion later. IgG actually looks horrible here. You're giving your opponent things that their Hermits can easily trash for extra points, while giving yourself a treasure, which is actually much harder to trash. I assume they've got the 2/5, which is not great. You just open Lighthouse Hermit. Yeah, fair enough. Way of the Rat doesn't look too significant to me. Maybe it comes up at some point. Deck it. There's actually no attacks Lighthouse can block here. IgG is technically not an attack. I mean, that doesn't make Lighthouse bad. It still is silver, but it's not doing a whole lot either. So this is probably 3 piles on something or other. Hermits, Ducats, Transmutes, maybe? I could see running down the tunnels, actually, given that it's 3 pile anyway. Hermits can get a bunch of tunnels in the end game. You could add a mill, maybe, and take some golds, and then buy a few provinces. Okay. Let's trash this. Hermit. I really want some hermits. I think I just want to take the last hermit. I'm wondering, maybe this transmute has to wait. Getting a madman seems real good here. Otherwise, I think my deck's pretty over-terminaled. Or maybe I could just get a fishing village. Kind of resolves the problem, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm thinking maybe if I don't kill the hermits immediately, I get into the madman just a little bit later, and then add some fishing villages or wall villages or something. I could easily see, with enough overdraw, transmutes just kind of autopiling themselves. Play a few transmutes, gain a few transmutes, redraw with Madman. Aim for that. Didn't see Fishing Village on top, which is what I would have really wanted. Love to get the village effect twice in the shuffle. It looks like they're going for the Tunnel Mill plan, which is a reasonable thing to do. She'll buy nothing here, gain a Madman. Hermit here, Transmute. Unsure. Man, it would be real nice if my Fishing Village weren't on the very bottom of my deck. Here I think I'm taking a second Madman. And that's probably enough to draw my deck this turn. Do I trash Transmute? Like that's net thinning, turning coppers into transmutes and then trashing them. Yeah, I think so. Well, got the fishing village on top at least. Not with any terminal action cards, but could come in handy next turn. Also, this fishing village that was in play is also going to waste because I have no. The fishing villages have not. They are not doing their best work. These are some shoddy fishers. I could rat it. I want another fishing village. But I'd rather have this in play. I think I'd rather play it. Take a Shantytown. Or no, I can gain Shantytown off of Hermit pretty easily if I want to. Take a walled village. Yeah, he's going pretty hard for the Tunnel Mill stuff. That's relatively predictable. Okay, so can I do some nice gain and play things here? I play Fishing Village. I got 5 actions left. I play Hermit. I draw a Shantytown. Or I play Hermit, play Walled Village. I've still got 5 actions left. I could, yeah, I could certainly gain and play some things there. So let's do that. Do I play the Transmute first, actually? So I could play the Transmute, trash the Transmute, then gain the Shantytown, play that. Hmm. Do I want to trash? Maybe I don't want to trash the Transmute. I like the Transmute. I'm thinking about not buying anything here, taking 3 more Madmen, and then trying to win on Ducats and Transmutes next turn. Oh, that's the wrong order. I gotta gain the Shantytown first. Also, it's the wrong card to trash. I should be trashing the potion. Oh, look at this. Transmute Shantytown engine. There's a deck. So I'm not sure, but I think I've got enough draw-on actions to pile Transmutes and Ducats. Will that be enough points? Probably. Especially if their turn is not looking so great here. Oh no! Disaster! Where's my Madman? I got 2 Madmen in the bottom 6. This is horrible. Even if I draw the Madman with the Shantytown, that won't be enough because I'll have a small hand at that point. Oh no, this is not good at all. They get another turn. So we'll take some more transmutes now. Suppose. Turn a Shanty into a duchy. I'm happy I didn't draw any transmutes there. Or sorry, I didn't draw any madmen there, because now they're both top decked. Might just buy province here? I don't want to score points. I don't think they have real. Well, they've got a madman, so they have some pile pressure, I guess. Like if I took mill, I don't think there's a scenario where they do mills in fishing villages, but maybe. Show off my province. Okay, so first Transmute draws 4 cards, then I have 8 in hand. Sorry, first Madman draws 4 cards. Then the second one would draw the rest of my deck. I could play a Transmute before playing second Madman. I think that's not worth it. Because if I have a 7 card hand, play Transmute, trash a thing. Yeah, then I'm not actually drawing my deck or particularly close to it. So I just play both Madmen first. Okay, here we go. I feel like there should be a win here. Copper, gain transmute. Oh, I'm actually kind of low on gains, actually. I didn't think about it, but I've trashed a bunch of my ducats. Maybe I'm piling fishing villages? Does that work? Probably not. Yeah, I trashed too many treasures, didn't I? Oopsie daisy. Can I pile duchies? No. Well, I think this one through. Like I was thinking I was just gonna have a bunch of ducats on my deck, and I was just gonna buy 4 ducats. But then I kind of forgot the whole part where I trashed all my ducats last turn. The bottom deck madman thing is definitely not ideal. To gaining 2 fishing villages is pretty trivial. I don't. That's also not easy to gain 2 transmutes. Both ratting things and transmuting things into transmutes requires I have treasures, which I don't have. And this is I don't know, something of a problem. Because now, now I've got no madmen in my deck, so my deck actually doesn't do a whole lot anymore. That also suggests maybe this province buy was wrong. Yeah, I think if I'd realized this is what my turn was going to look like, I definitely would not have bought a province. Maybe I should have just bought 2 ducats or something and not worried so much about piling out, because their deck doesn't do a whole lot either. I'll play one of these. So maybe I lower fishing village, buy a fishing village. I honestly kind of want to buy a copper just for a transmute target. I can turn some of these into duchies. Maybe I'm buying double ducat. Yeah, it doesn't sound so bad. I don't know. I think just one more duchy and one more ducat here. Is this a win? No, not quite. Ducat estate. There's only one card left in the Transmute pile, but they can't do a whole lot about that because they didn't get themselves a potion. I don't think they can score 12 here, and if they don't, I'll win on Transmutes. I can even weigh the rat the Transmute this last Transmute. I don't need the point from Trashing Ducket. Let's do it. Ho ho! GG. What do we have here? I see procession. I don't see horses. That's no fun. There's crossroads with shelters. Also kind of odd. Oh, druid swamp's gift. Hello. That sounds fun. So we can take a lot of will-o-wisps. Another option maybe is just a more standard bizarre werewolf type thing. Well, I got the 5/2 anyway, so or 2/5 technically. Might as well take a druid. Oh, I forgot Curse Gold exists. I got the 2/7. That's probably I don't know. I should probably take a steward for trashing. So I guess it doesn't really matter whether I hit 5 or 7 or anything else. I think playing with Procession here seems fine. You can proc the stewards and workshops up into Processions and then turn those into 5s. You could rogue the Processions back out of the trash. I think there'll be things to do there. Bottom decking Steward is not a good idea. Hopefully they had a bad draw. There's a chance they bottom deck Steward. I don't think they had their Steward in that hand, otherwise I would expect them to play it over the Druid. Yeah. Yeah, their shuffle is definitely a lot better than mine. The main difference being I didn't play a Steward at all, and they played theirs and trashed the worst 2 cards in their deck. That's nice. Take a proc here. Well, I guess unless I draw Steward. Yep, never mind. We're not taking proc. We're trashing. So I think it's worth frogging the Druid so I can play it next turn. Okay, well, these 4 cards contain a Crossroads and a Necropolis. Here's hoping we find both of them. At least the Crossroads would be great. Necropolis would only partially resolve this terminal collision. I still have 3 terminals to play, only 1 village. Okay, this is fun. Trash 2 cards, gain procession. We're getting places. Okay. Supposed to draw on the deck. Probably proc the workshop. I don't know. Oh, I didn't even notice Druid had Fuel's Gift this entire time. Like, yeah, I guess Druid colliding is actually even less bad than I thought it was. Let's proc the workshop. Proc. Shop. Right? cards. Will-o-wisp. Wisp. Workshop. Play possession. Workshop. You gain Druid? Probably. And I get a 5 cost. Bizarre. I probably need the villages more than the draw right now. Not sure about that. This is going to be awfully piley, I think, especially because we're doing the same thing. Processions will surely run, and I think workshops are pretty easy to run out. And then there's some cheap cards. Would not be super hard to gain, being druids. I think druid will be worth having in the deck, even after Will-o-wisps run, because you can play it as or play it for Field's Gift, and then it's at least non-terminal plus buy. They can be drawn by Will-o-wisp. As much as I love the card Will-o-wisp, I hate that name, Will-o-wisp. It's hard to say, especially when you're pluralizing it. Will-o-wisps. It's like people in Britain who call chips crisps. Why would you ever subject yourself to that word more than absolutely necessary? Especially when there's perfectly viable alternatives. I could never bring myself to say the phrase crisps. It's painful. It physically pains me to say that. Actually, given this time of day, I suspect a decent portion of people listening might be European. I'm not taking it back. I should take Rogue here, I think. So I have Proc. So I have 4 processions in this chain. I've taken 2 stewards. So I can do 2 more things. Maybe one of them's got to be something with plus action. Probably the other one's Workshop. I wonder if I can win here. Actually, if I frog the Crossroads, that's actually 1 extra action. 50. Actually, undo. I think I want a werewolf for draw. Maybe Puka. That's even more draw. Take a Puka. Puka? Puka. Well, never mind. I was wondering if I could pile out, but if I can't draw the Puka, I don't think I can pile out. So much for that. Let's gain some processions back from the dead. I think I got processions down there, so I don't think that's a dead hand. Honestly, I don't even know what's down there, but find out. Bit. Maybe I'll frog the Necro just to be safe. I'll take a province, I guess. Just in case they want to try to pile. Yeah, probably a good thing I frogged the Necropolis. Okay, here we go. Good things should happen now. Uh-oh. Never mind, bad things should happen. I needed to draw a copper, I guess. I wonder if I can still win. So procking both druids gains me 2 stewards. And I think this might still be a win. I just buy the last 3 druids, and we're fine. Let's go werewolf. Gain the cursed gold. Banquet for Druid. All right, that's the match. I think that was 4-2. In any case, I think that puts us in a good spot. Probably guaranteed to make it to the elimination stages now. Go USA.